Now, there might be a certain level of paranoia at this point. You've worked so hard to create this selection. One accidental move and you could deselect the whole thing, right? So what we'll do is we're going to go and save our selection here. Very easy process. I'll head up to the select menu way up at the top and the very last command there, save selection. Inside this dialog box, I can see it's going to get added to my Buddha.jpg image. I'll give him a name here. I'll simply call him Buddha. Click on OK. There he is. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to deselect my marching ants. A little bit nerve-wracking. Did it really save? Well, I'm going to go up to the select menu and choose deselect. And then I'll head to my window menu, and I'm going to head to an unlikely place, the channels palette. Might seem kind of weird, doesn't really have a whole lot to do with selections. Well, it does. Check out the very last channel inside the channels palette. There is my Buddha selection. This is called an alpha channel. As a matter of fact, you know what I could do is I could come in here with my paintbrush tool. I'll just hit the B key here on my keyboard and make sure that my foreground and background are set to their defaults there. So same story as before. I could use white if I want to add to the selection and remove from the black area. Think of the black area as that red ruby leaf. Or I could hit the X key on my keyboard here and do the opposite. I could add to the black area, thus removing from my selection. Now, I'll just undo that there because I don't want to do that. But what I could do is I could come in here and maybe refine some of these rough edges here. Come and clean this up a little bit. But you know what? I'm going to leave that up to you. I'm just going to leave mine the way it is here. I'm going to go all the way back to my composite channel at the top of the channels palette here. And what I could do is if I wanted to load that Buddha selection back in, all I would do is hold down Control here on the Windows side anyway, or Command on the Mac, and single click on that channel thumbnail, and that loads in the Buddha selection for me. So yes, indeed, the Buddha selection did get saved inside the channels palette. Now, I'm going to deselect my marching ants once again, Control D or Command D on the Mac. I'm going to head over to my layers palette here, because now what I want to do is I want to pull the Buddha off of the background that he currently sits on. I'm just going to switch back to my Move tool here just by hitting the V key on my keyboard. And there's another way to load in your selection if you like. You don't have to use your channels palette. I'm going to go back to my Select menu way up at the top and all the way down to Load Selection. The selection that I want to load is inside Buddha.jpg. The channel that the selection resides inside is Buddha. I could even invert the selection if I wanted to. I'll just click on OK. There's my marching ants once again. Now to pull them off the background, I'm going to go up to the Layer menu, down to New, and then Layer via Cut. That tears the Buddha away from his background there. I'll take my background layer and fill them with white. Alright, so there's a look at working with the Quick Mask mode inside Photoshop. It's a fantastic way to create very precise, intricate selections, especially when Photoshop's traditional selection tools are not making the grade. Have fun with that one.